Your emotions are destroying your life, and you do not even realize it. The pattern was always the same: feel intensely, think poorly, act foolishly, lose everything. Today, you face the same challenge. Every day, your emotions hijack your decisions. You react when you should respond. You choose based on how you feel rather than what is true. You let temporary feelings dictate permanent consequences, and this emotional decision-making is costing you. Relationships destroyed by reactions you regret, opportunities lost because fear controlled you, money wasted on impulse purchases, career damage from words spoken in anger, years invested in paths chosen for emotional reasons that your rational mind knew were wrong. Let me be direct: emotional thinking is not authentic. It is not being true to yourself. It is being controlled by the most primitive, least reliable part of your brain. The part that evolved to help you survive in the wilderness, not navigate complex modern life. Cold thinking is not about becoming emotionless. It is about making emotions serve you rather than control you. It is about feeling fully but deciding rationally. It is about mastering the most powerful skill that separates successful people from everyone else. Today, I will teach you the genius of cold thinking. How to observe your emotions without obeying them. How to make decisions based on logic when feelings scream at you to do otherwise. How to develop the psychological ice that protects you from your own worst impulses. Some of you resist this already. But feelings are important, you say. I do not want to be cold and calculating. You misunderstand. Cold thinking does not eliminate feelings. It eliminates feelings making bad decisions for you. You can feel everything and still think clearly. In fact, you must feel everything, but then you must think anyway. This is the genius. Feel the emotion. Acknowledge it. Then set it aside and think coldly about what action serves your actual interests. Masters of power throughout history understood this. They felt anger, fear, desire, all of it, but they never let those feelings choose their actions. They thought coldly, even while feeling hotly. You can learn this skill, and once you do, you become nearly unstoppable. Because while everyone else is being controlled by their emotions, you are controlling yours. Are you ready to stop being a slave to your feelings? Are you prepared to develop cold thinking? Then let us begin. Let me show you exactly why emotional decisions consistently fail. Why the decisions you make when feeling intensely are almost always the wrong decisions. The neurological reality. When you experience strong emotion, your amygdala activates. This is your brain's alarm system. It evolved to detect threats and trigger immediate responses. Fight, flight, freeze. This was useful when threats were simple. Tiger attacks. Respond immediately. Survival. But modern problems are complex. They require analysis, planning, consideration of consequences. They need your prefrontal cortex, your rational thinking center. Here is the problem. When your amygdala activates strongly, it essentially hijacks your brain. It reduces blood flow and activity in your prefrontal cortex. Your rational thinking shuts down. You literally cannot think clearly. This is called an amygdala hijack. And in this state, you make terrible decisions. The time horizon problem. Emotions optimize for right now. They care about immediate feelings, not future consequences. When you are angry, emotion says, destroy them now. Feel powerful. It does not consider, will this damage my reputation? Will I regret this tomorrow? Will this cost me this relationship? When you are afraid, emotion says, avoid. This immediately. Feel safe. It does not consider, is this fear rational? Will avoiding this cost me opportunities? Is the temporary discomfort worth the long-term gain? When you are lustful or desiring, emotion says, get this now. Feel satisfied. It does not consider, can I afford this? Does this align with my goals? Will the satisfaction last? Emotions have no concept of future self. They serve present self exclusively. This is why emotional decisions consistently sacrifice long-term well-being for short-term feeling. The magnification effect. Emotions magnify everything. They make small problems seem catastrophic. They make temporary situations feel permanent. They make manageable challenges feel impossible. You receive criticism. Emotionally, it feels like complete rejection, like evidence you are worthless, like reason to quit entirely. Rationally, it is feedback, information. data you can use to improve. But emotion magnifies the pain and minimizes your ability to process it constructively. Someone disrespects you. Emotionally, it feels like an attack on your entire identity, like something requiring immediate retaliation, like a threat to your survival. Rationally, it is one person's opinion. It may not even be about you. It certainly does not justify destroying your own life to respond to it. But emotion magnifies the offense and demands disproportionate response. The certainty illusion. When you feel something strongly, you feel certain you are right. Emotion creates conviction without requiring evidence. You feel angry at someone, so you are certain they wronged you intentionally. You feel attracted to something, so you are certain it is good for you. You feel afraid of something, so you are certain it is dangerous. But feelings are not facts. Feeling certain does not make you correct. Emotional intensity is not the same as truth. I watched countless Princes in Florence make catastrophic decisions with absolute confidence because their emotions told them they were right. They felt betrayed, so they were certain someone had betrayed them. They felt threatened, so they were certain war was necessary. They felt passionate, so they were certain the relationship would last. Their certainty was emotional, not rational, and it destroyed them. The regret pattern. Think about your biggest regrets. The decisions you wish you could undo, the moments you wish you could take back. How many were made emotionally? How many were reactions to strong feelings rather than responses based on careful thought? Nearly all of them. This is the pattern everyone experiences. Emotional decisions feel right in the moment. They satisfy the immediate feeling, but they consistently produce outcomes you later regret. The text sent in anger, the purchase made impulsively, the relationship entered desperately, the opportunity avoided fearfully, the job quit dramatically, the investment made greedily. In the moment, emotion made these decisions feel not just right, but necessary, urgent, obvious. Later, when emotion subsided and rationality returned, you saw clearly how foolish the decision was. But by then, consequences were already unfolding. This is why emotional decision-making fails. Not because emotions are bad, but because emotions are terrible decision-makers. They optimize for immediate feeling rather than actual outcomes. They operate on distorted information. They shut down your ability to think clearly, and they create certainty where none is warranted. Cold thinking is the antidote. It allows you to feel emotions fully while preventing them from making your decisions. Now I will teach you the single most powerful technique for cold thinking. It is called the Stoic pause, and it creates space between what you feel and what you do. The ancient Stoics understood something profound. Between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space lies your power to choose your response, and in that choice lies your freedom. Most people have no space. Stimulus leads immediately to response. Someone insults them, they react. Something triggers fear, they avoid. Something creates desire, they pursue. This is being controlled by emotion. This is living reactively. This is being a slave to feeling. Cold thinkers create space. They pause. In that pause, they observe their emotion, evaluate it, and choose their response deliberately. The technique: when you feel strong emotion, before you do anything, pause, not forever. Just long enough to think. Sometimes this is 10 seconds, sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 24 hours. The stronger the emotion, the longer the pause you need. In that pause, do these things. Step 1. Name the emotion. I am feeling angry right now. This is fear. I am experiencing hurt. Naming emotion creates psychological distance. You are not the emotion. You are the person experiencing it. This subtle shift changes everything. Instead of I am angry, which identifies you with the anger, say I am experiencing anger, which makes anger something you are observing. This activates your prefrontal cortex. The act of labeling emotion actually reduces its intensity and returns some rational thinking capacity. Step 2. Locate it physically. Where do you feel this emotion in your body? Tightness in chest, tension in jaw, knot in stomach, heat in face? This grounds you in present moment awareness. It reminds you that emotion is a physical sensation, not an accurate reading of reality. Step 3. Observe without judging. Notice the emotion like a scientist observing a phenomenon, with curiosity, not condemnation. Interesting. I am feeling intense anger. My heart rate has increased. I am have. thoughts about retaliation. My body wants to act aggressively. This observation creates more distance. You are not suppressing the emotion. You are studying it. This neutralizes some of its power. Step 4. Ask the cold question. What would serve my actual interests here? Not what do I feel like doing, but what action would produce the outcome I actually want? This is cold thinking. Separating feeling from strategic action. You feel like destroying someone who disrespected you, but would that serve your interests? Would it improve your life? Would it get you what you actually want? Usually, no. Usually, the emotional action would feel satisfying momentarily but damage you long-term. Step 5. Decide from cold analysis. Based on your interests, your goals, your values, and rational analysis of likely consequences, what should you do? This may align with emotion. Sometimes anger correctly identifies an injustice that should be addressed. Sometimes fear correctly identifies danger that should be avoided. But often, cold analysis reveals that the emotional action would be foolish, that the feeling is valid but the impulse is destructive. The practice, this pause technique, must be practiced. It does not come naturally. Your default is immediate reaction. Start with low-stakes emotions. Practice pausing when you feel minor irritation, when you experience small desires, when you have mild fears. Build the pause muscle with manageable situations. Then, when major emotions hit, you will have the capacity to pause before reacting catastrophically. I watched the most successful rulers in Italy master this technique. When insulted publicly, they did not react immediately. They paused. They thought coldly about how to respond in a way that served their interests. Sometimes this meant ignoring the insult entirely. Sometimes it meant responding with measured consequence. But it never meant reacting emotionally in the moment. Their pause gave them power. While enemies expected immediate emotional reaction, they encountered calculated response. This unpredictability, this self-control, made them formidable. You can develop this same capacity. The results, when you master the pause, several things happen. You stop saying things you regret. The pause prevents verbal reactions you cannot take back. You stop making impulsive decisions. The pause allows you to think before committing. You stop damaging relationships unnecessarily. The pause prevents escalation driven by temporary feeling. You start responding rather than reacting. Response is chosen. Reaction is automatic. Response serves you. Reaction serves emotion. You start living deliberately rather than reactively. You become the author of your life rather than a character in a story written by your emotions. This is cold thinking in practice, not eliminating emotion, but creating space between emotion and action. Space where rational thought can operate. Space where choice exists. Master the pause, and you master yourself. Now, I will give you specific frameworks for cold thinking. Mental tools you can apply when emotions try to hijack your decisions. Framework 1. The October 10th, 2010 rule. When facing a decision, ask yourself, how will I feel about this decision in 10 minutes, in 10 months, in 10 years? This creates temporal distance from immediate emotion. Example, someone insults you. You want to retaliate publicly. 10 minutes, I will feel satisfied and vindicated. 10 months, I will feel embarrassed. I reacted so extremely to something minor. 10 years, I will not remember this person or incident, but my reputation may still carry the damage from my reaction. The emotional decision optimizes for 10 minutes. The cold decision optimizes for 10 months and 10 years. This framework forces you to consider your future self, to think past the immediate feeling to the lasting consequences. Framework 2. The interests test. List your actual interests and goals. Then ask, does this decision serve these interests? Not does this feel good, but does this advance my actual objectives? Example, you are offered a job that pays more but requires relocating away from family and friends. Emotional reaction, but I will miss everyone. I feel scared of change. I feel comfortable here. Interests test. My goals are financial security, career advancement, and new experiences. This job serves 2 of 3 directly. Family can be visited. Comfort is not actually a goal I have. This serves my interests despite the uncomfortable feelings. The cold thinker serves interests. The emotional thinker serves feelings. One builds the life you want. The other keeps you comfortable in the life you have. Framework 3, the worst-case analysis. When fear is driving avoidance, ask, what is the actual worst-case scenario? How likely is it? Could I survive it? This neutralizes catastrophic thinking. Example, you want to start a business but fear failure. Emotional fear, I will fail. I will lose everything. I will be humiliated. My life will be ruined. Worst-case analysis, actual worst case? The business fails. I lose the money I invested. I have to get another job. I feel embarrassed temporarily. Is this survivable? Completely. Is my life ruined? No. I will have learned valuable lessons and can try again or pursue another path. Often, your fears are exaggerated. The worst case is manageable. The catastrophe is imaginary. Cold thinking examines actual risk, not imagined disaster. Framework 4. The third-person perspective. Describe your situation as if advising someone else. What would you tell them to do? This removes emotional attachment. Example, you are considering Ying in a relationship that consistently makes you unhappy. First person, emotional, but I love them. But I have invested so much time. But maybe things will change. But I'm afraid of being alone. Third person, rational, my friend is in a relationship that makes them consistently unhappy. Nothing has improved despite multiple conversations. They are staying out of fear and sunk cost, not because the relationship is good. I would tell them to leave. You can see clearly for others what emotion obscures for yourself. This framework lets you access that clarity. Framework 5, the inversion test. Instead of asking, should I do this? Ask what happens if I definitely do not do this. This reveals whether you are acting from genuine interest or just emotional impulse. Example, you want to make an angry response to criticism online. Normal question, should I respond and defend myself? Emotional answer, yes, I must defend my honor. Inverted question, what happens if I definitely do not respond? Rational answer, probably nothing. The criticism will be forgotten. My silence will not be noticed. I save time and avoid escalation. My reputation is actually protected by not engaging. Inversion often reveals that the emotional action is unnecessary. Framework 6, the regret minimization. Imagine yourself at 80 years old looking back. Which decision would you regret less? This provides ultimate perspective. Example, choosing between stable career and risky venture. You are passionate about emotional fear, the venture might fail. I should stay safe. Regret minimization. At 80, which would I regret more? Not trying something I was passionate about or playing it safe my entire life? Probably the latter. Even if the venture fails, I will not regret trying. But I will certainly regret never trying. This framework shifts your reference point from present fear to future regret. Often, this reveals that the riskier choice is actually the rational one, the integration. Use these frameworks when emotions are strong and you need to think coldly. They are not meant to eliminate feeling. They are meant to prevent feeling from making poor decisions. Feel the fear. Then use worst-case analysis. Feel the anger. Then use the October 10th, 2010 rule. Feel the attachment. Then use third-person perspective. The frameworks do not deny emotion. They contextualize it. They give you tools to think rationally even while feeling intensely. This is the genius of cold thinking. Not emotional suppression, but rational decision-making despite emotional presence. Now I will teach you how to defend yourself against those who manipulate your emotions deliberately. Because cold thinking is not just about managing your own feelings, it is about protecting yourself from those who weaponize emotions against you. Understanding emotional manipulation. Manipulators understand that emotional people make poor decisions, so they trigger emotions deliberately to get what they want. They make you angry, so you act rashly. They make you afraid, so you comply. They make you guilty, so you give without receiving. They make you desperate, so you accept bad deals. Your emotions become their remote control. They push buttons, and you react predictably. Cold thinking breaks this control. Manipulation tactic 1, emotional blackmail. They threaten you with their emotions. If you do not do this, I will be devastated. You are hurting me by setting boundaries. How could you do this to me? The goal is making you responsible for their emotional state. Once you accept this responsibility, they control you completely. The cold defense. Recognize that their emotions are their responsibility, not yours. You can care about their feelings without letting those feelings dictate your decisions. Respo. NSE, I understand this upsets you. That does not change my decision. You are responsible for managing your emotions. This maintains your boundary while acknowledging their feeling. Cold thinking allows you to be compassionate without being controlled. Manipulation tactic. 2. Rage and intimidation. They explode emotionally to make you afraid of consequences. They yell, threaten, or display anger to make you back down. Most people immediately become emotional in response. Fear activates. They seek to appease the angry person. The cold defense. Observe the anger without absorbing it. Recognize it as a manipulation tactic, not a legitimate emotional reaction. Response. I will continue this conversation when you are calm. Your anger does not change the facts. Then disengage. This refuses to reward the emotional display. Most manipulators will eventually stop using tactics that do not work. Manipulation tactic 3. Guilt tripping. They make you feel guilty for having boundaries, preferences, or needs. After everything I have done for you, you are being selfish. You do not care about me. They use guilt to make you abandon your interests in favor of theirs. The cold defense. Separate legitimate guilt from manufactured guilt. Did you actually wrong them? Or are they trying to make you feel guilty for reasonable self-care? Response. I am not doing anything wrong by prioritizing my own needs. Your attempt to make me feel guilty will not work. Name the manipulation. This often stops it. Manipulation tactic 4. Creating urgency through emotion. They create emotional pressure to force quick decisions. I need to know right now. If you really cared, you would decide immediately. This opportunity will not last. Emotional urgency prevents cold thinking. They know that if you think carefully, you will say no. The cold defense. Refuse to make significant decisions and emotional pressure. Response. I do not make important decisions when feeling pressured. I need time to think. If that means losing this opportunity, I accept that. Most manipulative opportunities disappear when you demand time to think. Legitimate opportunities can wait. Manipulation tactic 5. Love bombing. They overwhelm you with attention, affection, and promises. They create intense emotional highs that bypass your rational evaluation. The cold defense. Be suspicious of intensity that seems disproportionate. Real connection builds gradually. Manufactured connection comes too fast and too strong. Maintain your boundaries even when someone is being extremely affectionate. Time reveals true character. Intensity does not. The overall pattern. All emotional manipulation attempts follow the same structure. Trigger strong emotion in you, then leverage that emotion to control your behavior. The defense is always the same. Recognize the manipulation. Refuse to make decisions while emotionally activated. Create space. Think coldly about what serves your interests. Manipulators rely on you being emotionally reactive. When you respond with cold thinking, their tactics fail. I watched countless manipulators in Renaissance courts. They would trigger emotions in princes, then exploit those emotions for political advantage. The princes who survived longest were those who could feel the emotion but refused to act on it. They would appear emotional to satisfy the manipulator, but their decisions remained cold and strategic. You can do the same, feel whatever you feel, but decide based on cold analysis of your interests. The practice, when someone triggers strong emotion in you during an interaction, that is your signal to pause, to recognize potential manipulation, to think coldly about what they want and whether complying serves you. Not everyone who triggers emotion is manipulating deliberately. Sometimes people are just emotional themselves. But the defense is the same regardless of intent. Pause, observe, think coldly, decide strategically. This protects you from manipulation while allowing you to maintain genuine emotional connections with trustworthy people. Cold thinking is not cold relating. It is simply refusing to let anyone, including yourself, use emotions to make poor decisions for you. Cold thinking is a skill. Like any skill, it requires deliberate practice. You cannot simply decide to think coldly and immediately master it. You must train yourself systematically. The daily practice, morning ritual, pre-commitment. Each morning, identify potential emotional triggers you may face that day. Decide in advance how you will respond to them. If my colleague criticizes me today, I will pause, thank them for feedback, and evaluate it later when not emotional. If I am tempted to make an impulsive purchase, I will wait 24 hours before buying. If someone tries to provoke me, I will observe my anger but not react to it. This pre-commitment creates a plan. When emotion arises, you have already decided how to handle it. This makes cold thinking easier. Evening ritual review. Each evening, review your emotional reactions from the day. When did you react emotionally? What triggered it? How did you handle it? What would cold thinking have done differently? This review builds awareness. You start noticing patterns, specific triggers, common emotional mistakes. This awareness is the foundation of change. The training exercises. Exercise 1. Delayed response training. Practice pausing before responding to anything, not just emotional triggers, everything. Someone asks you a question. Pause 3 seconds before answering. Someone sends a message. Wait 10 minutes before replying. Someone makes a request. Say, let me think about that and get back to you. This builds the pause habit, makes it automatic. So when real emotional situations arise, pausing is already your default response. Exercise 2. Emotion journaling. When you feel strong emotion, write it down. Describe what you felt, what triggered it, what you wanted to do, and what you actually did. Then, analyze. Was the emotion proportional to the trigger? Did your response serve your interests? What would cold thinking have done differently? This creates distance from emotion. It makes you an observer of your emotional patterns rather than a victim of them. Exercise 3. Hypothetical decision practice. Regularly imagine yourself in emotional scenarios and practice cold thinking. If someone cuts me off in traffic, instead of reacting with anger, I will observe my anger, recognize it serves no purpose, and let it go without acting. If I am offered an opportunity that sounds too good to be true, instead of deciding impulsively, I will research it thoroughly for 48 hours. Mental practice creates neural pathways. When actual situations arise, you have already practiced the response. Exercise 4. Exposure to comfort. Deliberately do things that create mild discomfort, not to torture yourself. To practice feeling discomfort without letting it control your decisions. Cold showers, difficult conversations, uncomfortable truths, small rejections. This builds emotional resilience. You learn that discomfort is survivable, that you can feel negative emotions and still function. Over time, bigger emotions become less controlling because you have practiced experiencing smaller ones without reacting. The progressive difficulty. Start with low-stakes emotions. Practice cold thinking when irritated, not when enraged. When nervous, not when terrified. When desiring, not when desperately craving. Build capacity gradually. As you master smaller emotions, you develop ability to handle larger ones. Do not attempt to cold think during your most intense emotional moments initially. You will fail, and failure will discourage continued practice. Start small. Build competence. Increase difficulty gradually. The identity shift. As you practice, you begin to see yourself differently. Not as a person controlled by emotions, but as a person who experiences emotions and chooses how to respond to them. This identity shift is powerful. It transforms how you relate to your feelings. They stop being commands and become information. I feel angry becomes I am observing anger in myself right now. I am afraid becomes fear is present, but I can still act courageously. I want this desperately becomes desire is strong, but desire is not the same as what serves my interests. The long-term development. Cold thinking becomes easier over time. What required immense effort initially becomes increasingly automatic. You will always feel emotions. That never stops. But your relationship with them transforms. Instead of emotion, immediate reaction, you develop emotion, awareness, evaluation, strategic response. This becomes your default pattern, not through suppression but through practice skill. I watched princes develop this capacity. Early in their rule, they were emotional and reactive. Enemies exploited this. They learned painfully to develop cold thinking. Those who succeeded in this development became legendary rulers. Those who remained emotional prisoners lost everything. You can develop this same capacity, but only through deliberate, consistent practice. So now you understand. Cold thinking is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally masterful. Feel everything, deeply, authentically, fully, but never let feelings make your decisions. This is the genius, complete emotional experience combined with rati, onal decision-making. The integration of feeling and thinking, not the elimination of either. Most people live at one of two extremes. Either they suppress emotions and become disconnected from themselves, or they obey emotions and become slaves to feelings. Cold thinkers occupy the middle path. They feel intensely but think clearly. They experience emotions without being controlled by them. They honor feelings without surrendering judgment to them. This is mastery. This is power. This is the skill that separates those who shape their lives from those whose lives are shaped by their emotional reactions. Let me tell you what happens when you master cold thinking. Your relationships improve because you respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally, because you can feel anger without destroying connection, because you can experience hurt without retaliating destructively. Your career advances because you make strategic decisions rather than emotional ones, because you can handle criticism without defensive reaction, because you can navigate office politics without being controlled by ego or fear. Your wealth grows because you resist impulse purchases, because you invest rationally rather than following greed or fear, because you think long-term despite short-term feelings. Your reputation strengthens because people see you as reliable, rational, and controlled, because you do not say or do things you later regret, because you are known for thoughtful responses rather than emotional reactions. Your self-respect deepens because you stop betraying yourself through emotional decisions, because you honor your future self by thinking past present feelings, because you prove to yourself that you are more than your emotions. Most importantly, your freedom expands because you are no longer controlled by feelings, because you can choose responses instead of being forced into reactions, because you become the author of your life. This is not theory. This is practical, achievable transformation, but only if you practice. 500 years ago, I watched the emotional princes fall and the cold thinkers survive. I watched passion destroy kingdoms and calculation build empires. I watched feelings lead to catastrophe and rational thought lead to victory. Nothing has changed. The same dynamics apply today. The emotional lose. The cold thinkers win. But with one crucial addition, you do not have to be cold-hearted to be a cold thinker. You can be compassionate, loving, and deeply feeling while still making rational decisions. In fact, cold thinking makes you better at genuine connection, because you can be present with others' emotions without being controlled by them. You can empathize without absorbing. You can support without enabling. So here is my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, practice cold thinking. Use the pause, apply the frameworks, train daily, review your emotional reactions, build the skill deliberately. Some days you will fail. You will react emotionally despite your best intentions. This is normal. This is expected. Do not let failure discourage you. Just observe the failure. Learn from it. Try again. Each attempt, whether successful or not, builds capacity. After 30 days, evaluate. Has your decision-making improved? Are you reacting less and responding more? Do you regret fewer of your choices? I promise you, if you practice genuinely, you will see transformation. And once you experience the power of cold thinking, once you see how much better your life becomes when you master your emotional reactions, you will never want to go back to being controlled by feelings. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming free. Free from emotional tyranny. Free to feel everything while choosing wisely. If you got in something positive from this video, please subscribe this channel and like and share this video. Thank you very much.